What up YouTube? Today I got y'all some updated controller settings. With the Season 4 update having just dropped, I know a lot of you guys out there are always looking to improve your settings to be able to hit your shots more, be able to get higher kill games, improve your KD ratio, and of course just win more in general. And as someone who's got a 7 KD in Warzone, I know exactly what I'm doing. So real quick though, what I need y'all to do for me is to break 200 likes on this video and make sure you subscribe because I get high kill gameplays every day. For real though, hit that like button. If you don't, I'm predicting bad luck for you and you're gonna get shadow banned this entire month. Anyways, let's hop into the settings. All right, so first thing we're doing here, of course, we're going to start on the controller tab, and I'll give you guys some other settings after the controller, so at least your game looks a little bit better, but let's get into it here. First thing, we're playing with the controller, obviously. I play on tactical flip just because I feel more comfortable using the top bumpers. That just feels more comfortable to me. I have a Scuff Envision controller. I play the Scuff controller. It's a Scuff Envision, and it's also got the 4 back paddles. This is the PC specific controller. I like it. Your controller doesn't really matter. People just always ask me, so I just tell them what I got. After that, though, we're going to see, you can play in tactical flip, you can play in tactical. Not really going to matter. I just would recommend tactical. Stick layout preset's going to be on default. We don't got to change that at all. No use there. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I play on a 1.4, which is relatively about a 6.6 sensitivity. If that feels really good to me. If your sensitivity is really high and you're missing a lot of shots, lower this down. I promise it's going to make a difference very positively for you. So I'd really recommend to do that. I think normally speaking, a lower sensitivity is better. A lot of the best Warzone and of course competitive COD players play on a lower sense, like actually sometimes lower than what I play on. After that, simplified controls preset off, keep that off. Bumper ping off. You can have it on, I mean, if you really want to. I had to swap LBRB with LTRT. This LTRT, this shows up as an Xbox controller on my PC because that's how Scuff made it. So I'm a PlayStation guy. This is what the buttons show up as, and I feel more comfortable with the top bumpers opposed to the bottom ones. I think sometimes that just feels a little bit better to me, but I do deal with it in other games if I have to. We're gonna go on down here. You can have controller vibration on or off. It doesn't really like bother me at all. Sometimes I don't even notice if it's there or if it's not. I just kind of have it on. So do what you want with that. Now let's get here to the dead zones, as this is very, very important. So we can take a look here. The first thing we're gonna go over is our left stick minimum and our right stick minimum. So you want this to be as low as possible. I'm talking like it says reset to 15. That is garbage. Don't play on a 15 dead zone. So when you think about it here, I'll test my dead zones here real quick. So you can see that when I move my right stick around, my left stick around, keep in mind that if you had that 15 right here, when you're moving your stick, that's 15 degrees in which nothing is happening. AKA COD being a reactionary FPS. If you want to be the fastest you can be at responding, lower this down. If you got some stick drift, that might affect you, but try to lower it down like, 10, a 7, a 5, a 3, a 1. Like the lower you can go, the better. Your left stick max, this right here can be at a 60. This is how we move around in game, right? So we don't need that full range of motion on the stick for the maximum input to kick in. We want that to be very fast, either run forward, backward, sideways, whatever we're doing. We don't need that full range of motion. That is not something that is necessary. So do that so that way you get your maximum input at only 60% of your analog stick, which helps with you trying to move around, slide around, have a crazy movement at close quarters to get out of a situation. Whatever it is, it really helps. We went down here, the right stick max. This should be 99, 100, whatever yours is at. If it's at 99 or 100, that's perfectly fine. Keep it at rate like that. Don't lower that at all. That is your stick that you're used for, of course, aiming, right? So we don't want to lower that down at all. We want to make sure that we have all the area possible so we can be as accurate as possible and have those fine-tuned adjustments. If anyone tells you you have this lower than 99, they are completely lost and disregard what they're saying. As far as your left trigger, right trigger, the only reason I have this is because being that I have a Scuff controller, the PC one, everything's a mouse click and it's super sensitive. So I have a dead zone here. All it does is prevents me from automatically clicking in. It's like having stick drift in your buttons, but if that makes any sense. So I just have that just so I don't automatically stim shot, throw a knife, throw a grenade, something like that. Yours should just be at a 0. Now in the aiming tab, we're gonna go in here, and this is very important as well. Your sensitivity multiplier, the absolute only thing you have to mess with in here is your ADS sensitivity multiplier. And a 0.65 is gonna look really low to a lot of y'all out there. And listen, I get it. The basic here is a 1.0. If you're playing at a 1.0 and you are still missing shots, which I'm assuming is kind of why you're trying to watch this video, you want to get better. You want to lower this down from that 1.0 to like a 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. Lowest that probably goes where I'm at right now, 0.65. But this really just gives you basically 0.65 of my 1.4 sensitivity when I'm aiming. So it makes it harder for me to come off target. When you combine that with good aim assist and general, good skill, it makes my aim look very, very sticky. So I get lots of proneness and cheating device accusations as a result. So go ahead and slap that on there. And that's really all you have to mess with right there. Now we can go here to your aiming advanced settings. Before we do, I'll just say target aim assist always should be on. ADS aim assist should be on, and we don't have to mess with either the motion advanced sensor settings. Any of that will go into your aiming advanced settings. So the thing we have to do in here is your ADS sensitivity transition timing. This should be on instant, not gradual, not after a zoom. You want that ADS sensitivity to kick in as fast as possible. That makes it so that when you actually click on, like when you start zooming in, everything feels very instant. It's not like you have a gradual ramp down, ramp up. You just want it to click in as fast as possible. So always go ahead and have that on instant. We don't need to switch this to anything else. Your aim response curve type, this can be on standard, it can be on dynamic, literally whatever you want. Linear is probably the least beneficial option out of the three. I'd say standard feels, to me, for someone who's used standard and dynamic, standard feels the stickiest to me. So I stay using standard as this feels great. And if you go down here, I don't know why it keeps constantly backing out the entire way. If you go down here after you choose that, you can go, okay. You can go down in here and you see your aim response curve slope scale. This right here, you want to keep this at the 1.0. If you start lowering this down, that basically starts actually lowering your overall like curve that helps you with the ramp up, ramp down in your actual aim response curve type. That makes it more linear the closer to 0 you get, which is not what we want. So we're going to just leave this right there. Now we can move on to the next tab. Now in the movement tab, this is very, very big. It can make a large difference in how your gameplays. I've even switched up a few things here and I felt a massive difference in my gameplay and how fast I'm able to move and do things. So with sprint assist, you should have your tactical sprint assist on. That should be the option right here, not off or on. Tactical sprint assist, that gives you your automatic tac sprint. Now down here to your sprint assist delay, if you have a keyboard or something like that or a mouse, you can just go in there and actually change it to 1. Change that to 1, otherwise it goes in increments of like 50, 100, whatever like that. So try and get that down to a 1. All this does is it helps with some dead slides. So I learned this from someone else on social media and I looked at it and I kind of researched into it a little bit, and it actually does work out very, very nicely. So I'd recommend this for you guys. Your sprint assist sideways and backwards can definitely be on. These should be your settings, no matter how you play the game. Mantle assist can be off. Don't really have to do anything. If you want to run any of it, just make sure mantle assist angle is on tight. Crouch assist can be off. We don't really need that. Corner slice can be on or off. I've had this off. I've had it on. It doesn't really kick in too much. It doesn't really throw me off. I might just keep it off, to be honest with you guys, but really it's not going to matter. If you feel comfortable with it, keep it on, right? Works out great. If you don't care for it, don't have it. Doesn't really matter. So this right here is another crucial setting, your slide/dive behavior. So this right here, I was on tap to slide for a very, very long time, and I felt like I was getting a lot of dead slides. Stuff wasn't kicking in fast enough, and so I moved over to hybrid, apart from changing that one setting with that 1 on that assist delay. And I'm telling you guys this right now, my character feels very, very snappy. Sometimes I occasionally dive when I don't mean to, but otherwise this feels very good, and it really helps me just move around and be more snappy in game. And I like that. Everything just feels quicker. There's less of a delay between a slide or an animation, stuff like that. Be able to pull up my gun. I like it a lot, and I'd recommend this to you guys. After that though, you want to keep that, by the way, just on short, as long as you can change it. Automatic airborne mantle off. Sprint restore, you want to keep that on. Slide maintain sprint, keep that on. I have my parachute automatic behavior on off because I like to manually pull it so I can get a little closer to the object, the ground, whatever it may be. Mantle cancels reload, you want to keep that on. And then we're going to go in here to your movement advanced settings. So your sprint/tactical sprint behavior should just be on toggle there. You don't need that off, or you need that off. Keep that off. Grounded mantle, you can keep that on if you want to. Tactical sprint activation could just be on single tap sprint, really, if anything. And then your door bash can keep that on, etc. Otherwise, we really don't have to mess with anything else in this tab. Now on the combat tab here, pretty simple, but still has a lot of things that are really gonna be beneficial here to have totally dialed in. We're gonna go in here, hold, you're gonna keep that on toggle. You wanna keep this all pretty much how you see it right here. Your body shield finishing move behavior can be basically whatever. If you wanna kind of have that insult to injury and body shield someone, or if you wanna prioritize a finishing move, I personally don't body shield really, so I just do that. Armor plate behavior should be on apply all. Definitely go ahead and do that. It really does help you out. That way you don't have to continually hold your button on, whether it is Y or triangle or something like that. Combat event settings is where we're going to go here in just a second, but I want to show you guys there's nothing else really down here. Let's get into this. So the big thing right here is going to be, of course, your interact/reload behavior, which is going to be on prioritize interact. You want to keep that right there. We don't want on tap to reload, anything else like that. Tap to reload would be a multiplayer thing. So that way you're not just, you know, tapping and accidentally picking up weapons, stuff like that. You really only want tap to reload a multiplayer. Prioritize interact is great for Warzone. And it's going to maybe suck a little bit to get used to, you know, initially, but it will be very much so worth it otherwise. So that is really essentially about it for right there. Now we can essentially move on over to some of the other settings. All right, so I know you guys are going to be on console and on PC, so I'm not going to go through a bunch of like display settings. Really, I plan a bunch of low settings. I mean, you don't need high settings on COD. Everything looks fine. First thing in here, underneath view, which everyone's going to have, turn off your reduction preset for motion because we're going to customize this. So field of view, I like this to be at 120. Some people say you get better aim assist at like 116 or 118 or whatever. I don't believe that to be true. I play on 120 and my aim is very sticky, so I like it and I'm not going to be switching from it. Your ADS field of view should be on affected. You don't want to be on independent. If you put on independent and you're on 120 FOV, keep in mind you will go from 120 down to 80 every time you ADS, which is not good, right? We don't want that. So keep it on affected. Also gives you that nice visual look of having less recoil, which is pretty nice. Weapon field of view can be on wide. That way the weapon just looks smaller. We don't need it taking up more screen real estate. Weapons and the reloads already take up enough space, so we don't need that to do any more of it. Vehicle field of view can be on wide. World motion blur off. Weapon motion blur off. First and third person camera movement should be on least. And that is really going to be about it. This right here, having the third person or first person camera movement and no motion blur, and of course having the affected 120 FOV, will make your game look like being a regular console game, too much like how you see a lot of creators, streamers, stuff like that, just those simple settings. Lastly, I want to help you guys out making your game just look a little bit better. So we're going to go in here to, of course, the interface tab. We're going to go to readability, and then we're going to go all the way down here to the bottom for color customization. So you're going to click on this, and we're going to go here. Your HUD color palette can be really whatever you want, to be honest with you. It's not really going to matter. Do whatever you like. I have mine on default because I don't care to change it. I like the default colors, so I don't need to do anything with that. But what really does matter is going down here to your color filter settings. So you want to be on filter 2. That's going to be huge. We have none in filters 1 through 3, so go to filter 2. Color filter target both, and change your world color and interface color intensity both to 100. And this will make your game look a lot more vibrant. Of course, you see creators have some CC, like color correction on the recording software. I have a very, very minor CC, but when I look in game, the game looks very vibrant. So I don't see exactly what comes through in my recording, but overall, it still looks great. And that's really all the settings you need. That's really all I got for you guys here today. So if you did enjoy the video, do me a solid, drop a like on this video, and make sure you subscribe because I upload daily high kill gameplays and I show you guys how good these settings actually are. So that being said, I'll see you guys all next time.